All right, October 3rd, 2018, live day trading. As always, I got to repeat my rules to myself so I know exactly what to focus on. The rules are scan, survey, submit. I scan the markets for any stocks that meet my initial trading criteria. Once I see those stocks, I then survey the charts. I look for support, resistance, possible buy areas, possible sell areas, and then I submit trades. Just submit trade orders, submit as many as I possibly can. The whole goal is to collect data. Let me see, I'm just going through here real quick. Yeah, only one stock so far. Okay, just got two more popped up on the scanner. Yeah, all about data collection. How can I get in these trades? How can I tag these trades? That way I can run through the data and see what strategies have edge, something I can repeat over and over again, the same kind of trades. Let's see what's going on. GM is coming on. Ooh, GM, man, GM's been having a hard time. So over here. It's this weird guy. I mean, I've been talking about GM for the last couple days. This is the daily chart. You can just see, I mean, it's just GM's having a hard time. Let's look at the weekly. I'm curious. Yeah, went to the high 46. Get out of this real quick. All right, 5 stocks so far on my scanner. If you hear grunting in the background, that's my baby daughter. Only a few weeks old. I bring her down here with me to trade, to give my wife some rest as she's up with her all night. Daddy day trader over here. GM looks like an oh yeah, geez. Just about to say it looks like interesting if it starts breaking below this level. And before I got a chance to even say anything, it just came down 500,000 shares. I don't like to trade anything within the first 5 minutes. Got the mouse in one hand, got an infant child in the other. Not the ideal way to trade, but you know, what's the alternative? Just lay in bed and do nothing? No, I gotta trade, gotta get up despite anything else. Alright, I'm looking at see what I have so far on here. 6 stocks. Let's see. Okay, there's my alarm. It's almost 9:35. As soon as 9:35 rolls around, my scanner stops. And those are the stocks I'm trading for the day. That's it. Oh, this one is tanking. I thought it would look like it was coming down. Here we go, 9:35 now. All right, so I got 6 stocks on my scanner. GM looks interesting, possibly if it gets up to the VWAP area. What do I like about it so far? You had, again, the big push down, a lot of volume, 2 million shares. Oh, you okay, baby girl? Man, poor girl's been having a rough last couple of nights, not sleeping very good, upset stomach, which means I haven't been sleeping very well. Yeah, GM, if it hits that area, it looks interesting. I have to see what happens here. All right, I'm back. Had to take off a little bit of time. So one of the things I want to talk about is journaling. Why am I making these videos? And I've got to remind myself of what I'm doing here. And the whole idea of making these videos is to collect data that I can come back to later and really understand my thought process, why I'm getting into trades, why I'm getting, like, just everything, right? I was taking notes like in a Word document, journaling, but it's always after the fact. It's always like trying to remember what was I thinking when I got into the trade. So I thought, hey, videoing it would really capture my thoughts in real time, which I believed would be helpful. And then the idea of just making it available to everyone on YouTube was really maybe in the hopes of collaborating with other people, maybe like-minded individuals who would see these videos and go, hey, I kind of see where you're coming from. But with journaling, I was anticipating just kind of journaling the data I see on the screen from the charts, from the stocks. But one thing I didn't really anticipate was kind of what I dealt with this morning, and really journaling also the emotions, journaling my psychological, my state of mind. Because trading, let's face it, is 100% or 99%, I'll say, mental. There's only physical aspect is clicking a button. Everything else is mental. Everything else is thought process. And if thought process is being distracted, or if it's being, the resources are being used on other things that are going on in your life, maybe you can't fully focus and think on the trades in front of you. So for me, my thought processes, my emotional state is a little messed up right now. I have a brand new daughter. She's a couple weeks old. Haven't been getting any sleep. I still wake up at 4 every morning. I mean, that's my wake up time. So if I'm not getting any sleep because she's up crying or upset, so I'm looking at my mental state. I'm kind of a little bit sleep deprived. Also, she's been sick. She's dealing with like a possible staph infection. She's been on antibiotics, which haven't been making her feel well. And so how's that affecting my trading? You know what I mean? I can understand how it affects my life in general, but in trading, I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm a guy and sometimes we have a hard time talking about feelings and we don't want to think that our emotional state will affect the way we do work. But the reality is it does. Your emotional state does affect how you work, especially with something like trading, because it's so intensive on your brain resources, you know what I mean, to really think about what you're doing. And if you have distractions, that's going to affect your performance. And so I want to journal that. I want to be honest with not only the trade setups and what I'm seeing, but I want to be honest. I have to be honest. If I'm collecting data, this is an essential step, is collecting my mental data as well, and just saying, hey dude, you're stressed out this morning, you're kind of not feeling like you're in the best place, you're worried about your daughter, I'm worried about my wife, I'm worried about my family, and really just being honest with that and going, hey, it's a little, what, tomorrow's another day. There's going to be more stocks tomorrow, and to not get as frustrated, I don't know. It's just important, I think, to start adding kind of the emotional element into these journals, So that way when I reflect and go, God, that I was really trading, crappy in October, what was going on? And I can look at these videos and go, oh yeah, well, I forgot that I was sleep deprived. I forgot that my daughter was sick. I forgot. And maybe that's why I wasn't trading as well as maybe I could have, is because of those variables that have come into effect. So journaling, I think, is important, not just for the chart data, but also the emotional data. All right, so I think I've spent enough time talking about that. Now I want to go into the VWAP. So this morning, when I was scanning through my trades, I have my 6 trades. I noticed GM. I think the price was somewhere down here, and I said, hey, if it comes up into the VWAP, it might be an interesting place to go short. And I'm frustrated I missed this trade, right? Because I called it out, and then sure enough, it kind of came up into VWAP, and it came down. So what would be my entry? So we have this big volume bar, right? 2 million shares, and then we have this real light volume. You can see the volume down here. Can't do anything. And then the bigger volume push, this very next candle, volume steps in, pushes it down. So I would consider resistance right above this bar. So if the high is 34.88, maybe a good stop would be 34.88, then maybe 34.90, 34.92. Stock like GM, you can take tighter stop losses because it's huge flow and then you got a ton of volume. It's not super whippy like a low float stock. Again, this is a stock you can take tens of thousands of shares if you have the capital to back that kind of a trade. So I hate doing this in hindsight because obviously I see everything so clearly, but what do I think my entry might have been? Around VWAP, I know if 35.06, wow, it's about an 80 cent, right? So I'd want to take about a 10 cent stop. 8 to 12 cent stop would probably be what I'd be looking at. So when price is down here, I know my stop would be probably around 90, we'll say 92. I'd probably want to get in around 80 something, 82. So in all actuality, I may have not even gotten into this trade because I know, I would have only wanted about a 10 cent stop. So if I placed at my stop even at 90, 79, I might not have even gotten in. So maybe that makes me feel a little bit better that I didn't miss it because I might have not gotten in anyway. That's the thing with man, it's imperative that you're honest with yourself when you're looking at these charts, especially when you're going backwards, because I see these guys, a lot of these teachers and a lot of they had VWAP trade and boom, 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 you just get in as soon as it hits the VWAP. Well, I don't know if that's a real strategy, just getting in just because it touched the VWAP. Like, what are the other variables? What kind of stop are you looking at? What kind of profit ratio are you looking at? I'm thinking I may have actually missed this trade, even if my situation was where I could sit in front of the computer. Like, initially when I look at it, I'm thinking, oh God, I would have totally gotten in here. But now that I'm thinking about it, knowing what my criteria is, knowing what my parameters for trading are, I probably would have missed that trade. So maybe I need to adjust parameters to make these kind of trades. But in reality, I probably would have missed it. However, if your strategy is just to sell as soon as it touches VWAP, I mean, if that was the strategy, then that would have definitely worked out. Because even if you set the stop at 90, let's say you got in at 75, that's a 15 cent risk. I mean, you would have definitely had at least a 2-to-1. So 15, 30, 60 would be 4-to-1. 5, I mean, that's a 5 or 6-to-1 profit to loss on this one. Again, it's just about doing the stats to understand what kind of profit you can expect. But that's why I'm looking for these particular type of stocks, because they're moving, they're big movers, and I think that's important. So That's the VWAP. Let's see if there's any other VWAP trades that might have set up. Again, this one, I don't really know what I would have done with this. It's kind of just the GM. I don't know if I was saying GE earlier. Oh, you know what? I think I was trading. I got to look at my notes. Was I trading GM or GE? Oh well, whatever. Yeah, that I don't know. I don't know what kind of trade that is. Okay, so this is a VWAP trade. These are the kind of trades I actually like. Big volume. Let's see. Yeah, 800,000 shares. Price gaps down. Huge volume right there. 800,000 shares. I mean, that's some decent volume, right? Breaks away. Comes back up. And look, price gets stuck at VWAP. I tend to like it more when there's a couple narrowing range bars. I mean, if you look at the overall move, 69 to 14, it's a pretty, excuse me, that's pretty decent move. And then these are only like 12 cents. These are like real narrow range bars right around VWAP. There's this volume that I'm thinking is adding resistance because a lot of people were selling it pushed down. So this might actually be a good VWAP type trade. This is a type of trade I think would be repeatable for me if I got in, because I have this volume over here. I got the VWAP, kind of consolidates. I would think, hey, get in, set my stop loss at 41. Yeah, take a good 10-cent stop. And yeah, this is actually a trade I probably would have gotten into. Again, I hate it because it's backward. Hindsight's always 20/20, and I never want to be one of those guys who just, oh yeah, I would have gotten in here, I would have gotten in here, I would have done this. Again, it's kind of bullshit, you know what I mean? That's why I like doing it live and in real time. But since I missed this stuff live and in real time, who knows? Maybe I would have gotten into it, maybe I wouldn't have. Let's see. This, I don't, who knows? Let's see what else we got here. All right, so that's kind of the VWAP. Now let's see what else I wanted to look at. Oh yeah, so let's look at yesterday's trade. So ABX, let me look at the 5-minute chart. So this was a trade I traded yesterday live and in real time. I had a setup. And this is the kind of thing, and this is why I'm working my probabilities, right? Because right now I'm just at a default 2-to-1. 2-to-1 just to place the trade, just to get the info. But then I'm collecting all the chart data. I'm running everything through my algorithms, and I'm actually creating a like a trade management algorithm where it's going to go through and tell me, because it's going to kind of simulate a bunch of different scenarios and tell me, hey, for this type of trade, you should hold it for 4-to-1 or for 5-to-1 or for 1-to-1, risk to profit or profit to risk. So this trade, I got in at, let's see, where did I buy it? 943. So let's see over here. Dun, dun, dun. Then where's it at? 943, 44. Okay, so basically I got in around this area right in here. It's where I bought in. And I set my stop just below this area. And then I got out and the price was 1143. So I got out basically right in this area. So I got in over here, I got out over here. But look how much more price went. Wow, I mean, I had a 6-cent stop on this particular stock. And that's the awesome thing about the bigger, what I call them, the big boy stocks. The little kid stocks, the low float. I'm not saying you can't make money on those, but I don't know. They're hard as hell for me. I just have a real issue because I think they're easily manipulated by chat rooms and everything else. These bigger stocks with the bigger floats, I don't think they're as easy to manipulate. But I better check what I'm saying. Let me look at ABX because I don't even know what the float is. Maybe it is a low float stock. I don't know. Yeah, the market cap on ABX, it's a $13 billion market cap. So the float, it's a billion shares on the float, right? So yeah, I don't think this is going to be pushed around. Like this stock probably isn't going to be pushed around by one guy in his chat room. I mean, I guess maybe it could, but who knows? Anyway, so got in, got out, but look how far price kept going with 6 cents. Getting in at 11.31. So right here's where I got in, 6 cent stop. I mean, it went. How high did it end up going? Jesus. Yeah, so the high a day was 69. I got in at 30. So that's a 40 cents, or just about a 40 cent. So that's almost a 7 to 1. If my stop loss was 6 cents, it went 40 cents. 6 goes into 40 almost 7 times. So that's a 7 to 1. That's crazy. Now, obviously, I wouldn't have got a 7 to 1, but I add a bunch of these charts, and what I've been finding is it seems like I can usually get at least 4 or 5 to 1 in these types of trades. I mean, that's just, man, even if they only work out 30% of the time, still, that's money. So that's a lot different than having to be accurate 70% of the time. I'm just taking a couple notes here. But yeah, that's why I'm tracking the stats to see if I can get in these kind of trades and get a 4 or 5 to 1 on average. That's great. I mean, I think a lot of people, and myself included, kind of kill themselves, try to get that 70% accuracy rating, 80%. I try to be right all the time. That's why I'm looking for a different strategy. A lot of these chat room guys I see, they just want to be right all the time. 70%. Look, I was accurate 70% of the time or whatever. And it's like, it's too much pressure. I'd rather just put out 10 trades, and if only 3 of them work out, but in those 3 that work out, I gained 12%. And the 7 that didn't work out, I only lost 7%. So 12, and I'm up, total 5% in 10 trades. 5% in 10 trades. I mean, that's pretty amazing. You figure if you can do, let's just say 10 trades a week, that's all you do, 10 trades a week, 2 trades a day on average, you're up 5%, 5% a week. That's insane. And especially if they're on stocks where you can take big size. If you could start risking, if your risk unit becomes 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, you make 10, 15 plus thousand a week. I think you can even go bigger than that on some of these, and so that's why I'm looking at bigger, getting into stocks that can really move. You may look at this 11.20, it's only a 40 something cent move, not a big move, but when you figure I got into the stock and I only had a 6 cent stop, that's pretty good. So let's see if there's anything else I can go through. Yeah, GM is just continuing to collapse. Let's see if there's anything else. All right, so yeah, I think that's pretty much good for the day. So no trades today. Kind of got, I don't know, my kid, man, my daughter, that's the most important thing to me. It's like trading, like whatever, like my family. That's what I got to worry about. That's, this is, I mean, that's the whole reason I'm trading, is for my family. I'm not 20 anymore. I don't really give a shit about buying a fancy car. I mean, that'd be cool, whatever. I mean, I don't know. I just have different motivation now. So if I'm doing this for my family, I mean, that's really what my focus is. And so my baby girl's sick, man. I gotta take care of that and not let that bother me that I missed a trade or something. Um, you know, I don't know. Maybe I'll never be a great trader, but if I can be a great dad, then I'll feel like I've accomplished something. That's really, really my focus in life now. Anyway, so let's see. Yeah, I think we're good for the day. All right, tomorrow, another day, another trade.